bigger ones. So now we're going to, since we're here at G-Door, we're going to do the same thing with this NPC right here in order to find Doomgaze easily. It's time to take the fight to Doomgaze. So we're studying this guy, and we're going to see if it's going to work properly. See, as I say, I've only done a little bit, so I don't have everything mapped out. There are certain things that change their movement patterns and stuff, and I might not be on the right seed to get the pattern that I'm looking for. But we'll find out how many minutes this takes me. The other option is to fly around the world at a slightly right angle until finally he appears, but it looks like I'm just about there. Down? Good. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I'm going to do something interesting. If you hold the Y button, you can move the airship any direction. This is a trick that I really didn't know about, so I started watching speedrunning. It's just not something I ever did. But you won't trigger anything when you come here, because Doomgaze is an encounter trigger. And it doesn't look like I did it right. Or I didn't go down far enough. Nope. Oh well. I'm not going to waste time trying to figure it out again. I'm just going to go the backup strat to finding Doomgaze. The way it's supposed to work is once he goes down 3 times, then he goes 4 in any direction afterwards, and that should be a point where he's loaded to appear directly underneath G-Door. So if you fly in a straight line from G-Door, you should eventually run into him. And you can go there a little bit quicker by going straight backwards and then flying forward to run over the trigger. Because again, while you're holding the Y button and moving, you won't trigger it. See, because once again, it isn't actually you have a chance while you're flying to run into Doomgaze. It's whenever you load a seed, there's a specific spot in the world where Doomgaze is located. And so if you can manipulate the RNG to land on that seed, you know, to know a specific spot you're actually going to fly over, it goes a lot quicker than trying to find him normally, which is what I'm doing here. And I'm just doing it to get it out of the way since I failed at the RNG manipulation. I tried it before, it worked. I'm not sure why it messed up this time. Of course, once again, you know, I'm not sure exactly how because I'm doing things in a different order, and then as usual for most speedrunners who map this stuff out, it's a little bit trickier to find. I guess there's, when you're on different seeds, the different things happen, you know, not exactly the same, and so the patterns are different. Well, I try to, like, for instance, what I really mean by this, I'm not doing a good job of explaining, but for instance, a lot of how I've mapped out what I'm doing for the 100% run, especially for these obscure things, is from the 100% run I've really seen, which is from Essentia and Poexil's SGDQ 2014 100% run, where they demonstrate a bunch of these. But when I started working on this myself, the pattern I get for the girl walking outside the auction house when I'm trying to pick up Golem is actually totally different than the pattern that Poexil and Essentia got. And they've mapped out a couple different possibilities. They know what they're looking for because of the exact route they've taken. But it isn't the same as mine, so I had to literally study her pattern and try multiple times on various stages until I figured out which one was the actual trigger for that random seed I was on. And it might very well be the same for Doomgaze. Even though everything seemed to work fine, and it worked fine for me once, I might have been on the right random seed, and I'm not this time. And again, the random seed kind of advances in weird ways. There are 256 random seed strings in the game, and they advance at certain points, and I don't know a whole lot of the details about it. They talk about it a bit in these speed runs, but I haven't yet, you know, really found a place where I can study it and look at it, which is one of the reasons why I haven't tried any early game step manipulation. But you but by knowing that seed, you can figure out quite a lot of things. And by doing things in a specific order reliably in a speed run, you'll generally know what seed you're on, because you won't trigger things as often. So anyway, it's one of the things that makes the game easier, but I haven't quite got a hold of yet. Now, since I couldn't get random seed to work, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage now of the fact that I'm running on an emulator and fast forward this so that, there we go. I just hit fast forward so we zoomed through everything because I wanted to get Doomgaze and not waste your time flying around everywhere. It's the only time I'll use fast forward here since I didn't have many other options to find Doomgaze. That's the reliable way to do it. You turn like 1 pixel to the right or left and just keep flying, and eventually you'll cover the whole world with the wraparound, and you'll run into Doomgaze. Doomgaze starts with level 5 Doom, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to level up to a level that wasn't a multiple of 5, because any character who has a multiple of 5 in their level will be killed instantly. And so if your whole party's level 25, guess what? Game over. The rest of the party cannot come above Dex and help out. Doomgaze has a lot of hit points, and he also has a tendency to run away, so he's kind of hard to kill. Then you have to find him again as he goes to a new place. But I should be able to do enough damage with 3 people casting Ultima that I'll finish him off immediately. And voila, now I have Doomgaze. And that'll give me Bahamut, which is the only reason really to kill Doomgaze. The only reward you get for it is the Bahamut Esper, who of course is one of the best Espers in the game. He teaches the super powerful flare spell, and here, I wonder how that happened. Oh well. I'm close enough to Miranda to start the next section. I've kind of talked a little bit about the wounded soldier in Mobliz who died, and his girlfriend here in Miranda, Lola. And she's here with all these flowers and stuff. Her boyfriend has been apparently sending her letters and flowers, but we know that Mobliz was demolished by Kefka. And we read the letter, and we think that the handwriting looks like Cyan's. Where's he mailing them from? So to find out, we have to attach this reply to a carrier pigeon. So you have to go outside. Carrier pigeon will take off. A lot of the secrets in the game for treasure chests and for special items and some of these other things are you have to talk to all these NPCs to really get them. So we see the bird fly off to Zozo. You would think we would be following it on the airship to find where it goes, but magically we're able to see through its eyes or something. I guess magic could do things like that. It shouldn't be only attack spells. Of course, the one non-combat spell we saw, Flames Be Gone, didn't seem to work well. Alright, a return to Zozo. Zozo is kind of interesting because it's the one point in the game where you haven't, that has not advanced itself. Wrong person I'm talking to. Say no to tutorials. Bird flies off to Mount Zozo, which you can't see, but somehow exists through that cafe. You have to first talk to this guy over here and buy some rust rid. Naturally, this door is... he's hiding himself behind the wall somewhere. There we are. Stupid randomly moving NPCs. Once again, in order to prevent you from entering Mount Zozo in the world of balance, as far as I know, there's no way to get there. Probably through some sort of glitching you could possibly get there, but that's just got a chest in it, which is almost useless. This is the door we want. Mount Zozo has an interesting boss in it and a lot of good treasure. None of which I need, of course, but I'm going to grab anyway. They might prove useful to me. This one will come down here. One of the dragons is here, and of all things, he's locked in a chest. Don't ask me. Nothing good in that one. I love these mountainous backgrounds. So here's the switch we have to hit. There's a save point if we want to save our game. It's recommended. Storm Dragon's actually one of the harder ones on a casual playthrough. He doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses, and his wind attacks are strong. You have to kind of get in his way. That bridge is the best place to catch him. It's kind of interesting how they use just about every dragon image in the game for the 8 dragons. They reuse the primary big dragon ones for the red dragon and the white dragon. For every other dragon type of wyverns you'd see, and dinosaurs and such, those are the 8 dragons. What does he have? About 30,000 hit points? 40,000. $50,000. I need a full run on him. I could have prevented him from attacking a second time by using the wait trick, being a magic menu when these long spells are casting, but it's not really necessary, of course. Not for this run. Cure 3. 4 dragons left. He still flies around for a little bit. And that's it for Mount Colts. Now we're going to pick up our party member, the other important thing. Cyan's always actually been one of my favorite characters. You give Vesca's flowers, Vesca's letter. He was traveling around after the apocalypse, and he heard about the girl and felt so sorry for her. He decided that he had to try and, you know, ease her broken heart by pretending to be her boyfriend so that she would think that he would eventually return to him, but didn't. Noble is the heart of man. I don't know what this dialogue is supposed to be, but I really like it. The world before the fall. Delightful is the light of dawn. Noble is the heart of man. Is it Cyan saying it? Is it something that comes to our heads when we're looking at him? Some sort of poetry that we know he likes? What is it? But it's cool. Anyway. How did you find me? Wait, you didn't read my letters. He's super embarrassed by this. This is another weird subplot, as you might get from a couple of his dialogue choices at various points in the game if you actually investigate it. His aversion to Magitech, some problems he has with the Phantom trade. He doesn't like machines much, but this chest, which is locked, has a couple of key items in it that don't do anything, but they're the history of machines. There's a glowing thing on the cliff outside there where we just talked to him, and that's the key. You pick it up and you can open the chest. They're merely a diversion of mine. And you can open it up, and it has manual, like, basically the Idiot's Guide to Machines, and Cyan seems to say after reading it that he's not so, you know, scared of machines, intimidated by them anymore. It's kind of amusing. I guess it's showing some sort of minor character growth. Something inside me snapped. I was looking behind, full of despair. Now, the way you're supposed to complete this arc, of course, is then to take Cyan to Miranda, where he doesn't really admit to his fault in so many words, but he lets the girl know that she's going to have to stop living in the past. Ready for warp stones. Okay, next we're going to fly to the ancient castle, because it's nearby. Or rather, dig to the ancient castle. Ancient Castle is an interesting place and one of the more dangerous ones. Normally, of course, when you have sprint shoes, it's not quite as dangerous, but it still can be if you go looking for trouble, which I'm actually going to do a little bit. There are several really good items here. You've noticed that both Gogo and Setzer got the Gradius dagger. It's the most powerful dagger in the game, usable by almost all party members, and it's available in the caves here by fighting a Master Pug, who's one of the iconic Final Fantasy bad guys. I think there's a couple of other hard-to-get things as well that in the caves. Some of them are kind of nice. There's a couple of monster boxes with some pretty nice chests. I'm going to get only the best one. I'll go ahead and save it. Spin a bit. I'm going to get the most famous one because I would like to have a second offering. You get this flashback no matter what. Terra interacts with it a little more, or she seems to take charge, but it doesn't actually add any dialogue, so it doesn't hurt to have her here. It actually almost takes more time to do the dialogue than it does this whole dungeon. These, a bunch of merchants are defending this tower. This is the same sprite as the basic merchant that you encounter in Figaro. Or in South Figaro. What the heck? And this is the Chancellor from South Figaro. Again, this is the generic Chancellor. Remember, all Chancellors in RPGs are evil. It really seems like Terra's narrating this whole story, and considering that she's supposed to have amnesia and everything, it never really said that she recovered any of her memories, except, you know, the fact that she was a Esper. Maybe she recovered all her memories then, I don't know. Did she hear the story from her dad when she was a tiny, tiny tot or something? One of those interesting things. This is, I wonder, again, if this was a little bit of an incomplete Easter egg. What's really tragic, I think at least, from the way I play the game, is that the Esper Odin here is the only Esper in the entire game who can affect your speed stat. As I mentioned before, you can get really high stats by leveling up your characters with powerful Espers equipped, and it's really easy to get magic power. You do it with Zone Seek early in the game. You can get stamina and vigor fairly easily. This guy will wipe your party if you don't have things like a bunch of Ultimas. He's powerful. But the only Esper in the game that increases your speed when you level up is Odin, and it gives speed +1. And of course, usually, if you explore this place fully, you will upgrade Odin to Raiden immediately, and then that's it. You know, you don't have anymore an Esper that will increase speed. And he only increases speed by 1, so really if you're optimizing this game, your characters with the high speed, like Locke and Shadow, are the most powerful simply because they have a stat that is higher than anybody else's, and it isn't easy to surpass that. While it's super easy to give Locke a whole bunch of magic power, Shadow a bunch of magic power from a Esper, and level him up a bunch, and he can do as much damage or more damage than Terra and Silas while also acting more. So it's just a little thing about it. So we have a couple of things to do here. First is to collect Odin, the tragic Odin who won't be used at all. He's also the only Esper in the game who teaches Meteor, except for until you get boom. At least until you get Crusader, who also teaches Ultron. That's a book you can read that tells about how the Queen was in love with Odin. Terra does have a natural reaction to this. These dragons don't want to fight me today. Blue Dragon. This is where Strago can learn Clean Sweep. A very powerful water attack. It's good to bring him along if you're planning to use him at all in his lores or blue magic, because it is a really powerful spell. He, of course, is weak to lightning. So Bolt 3 and Bolt 2 and Thunder Rod will take him down really quickly. Especially since he doesn't have a lot of hit points. He is relatively dangerous, though. He's the closest thing this game has to a Leviathan. Because usually when you have to fight Leviathan before learning to summon him, you get something very similar. Even the Queen was turned to stone. It looks like Maria. The Queen was Maria. Silas, are you a descendant of the Queen of this place? Yep, okay, let's see. I don't think we can use a warp stone here. I'm going to try anyway. But because we have to get back, yeah, it's disabled, you can see. Luckily, I don't have to worry about any encounters, so I'm just going to get out of here. I only have a few places left to go, a few Espers left to get, one dragon left to kill before Kefka's Tower. How is Tara doing on her magic? That's one of the things I haven't totally mapped out yet. 68%. Okay. I'm doing pretty good. 78, 93. Trying to calculate that. A couple more. I might have to go find a couple more fights in a couple places. We'll see. No, that gives a lot there. Those three give a bunch, and then he gives a bunch. Yeah, I might be okay. We'll see. Okay, now we're going to put Cyan in the party for the one time we'll really use him. Although I'll be making use of him in the Kefka Tower. Oh, I almost forgot we have to go back first. The one problem with doing the ancient castle is because, you know, there's no other way to get through here. You have to go all the way back. This is one of those places where you have to have somebody who knows about it, or you have to fork over a huge amount of cash to the stupid NPC at the Cult of Kefka Tower who'll tell you about it, because there's no reason to go using this thing again after you get the airship immediately afterwards. It's really pointless because you can fly anywhere and there's nothing of interest over here. Continue journey. That's the default option, so I don't have to worry about it. You can waste a lot of time by accidentally clicking continue journey when you want to stop and explore. If only you could tell him, okay, just go back to, on second thought, go back, don't complete our step. And don't complete our trip. Okay. Time to go face some demons. You'll do. Okay, we're going to take her, Go-Go, and Cyan. No particular reason that we're taking Go-Go instead of, well, actually there is, since I'm kind of down on characters that can use Ultima, that's the main reason. Go-Go can use Ultima now. Okay, this is actually, as I say, you have to talk to pretty much all the NPCs in the game to learn about all of the weird side quests and stuff that are here. And this particular one, they talk about demons that come out when you're in Doma Castle. And if you bring normal characters, they don't get bothered by demons, but you have to have Cyan in your party. There are a couple of places, like in Figaro Castle, there's another one of these places you can rest for free. You can do this at any time during the first portion of the game, too, if you want to explore Doma. At least after you've done the banquet and the Imperial soldiers clear out. There are a couple of items here you can pick up, including beads, which is pretty much useless. Because it deals with, like, physical evasion. You randomly evade attacks, but since physical evasion doesn't work well anyway, and you just want magic evasion, it's almost as useless as the Zephyr Cape. Curly, Larry, and Mo. The three Dream Stooges. Uh-huh. I'm not hearing enough knock, 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 knock from these guys. Well, jump into the dreams with him. Okay, I want to actually go left first. I'm going in circles again. Doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Okay, and I'll pick up Sealess. I'm doing it less wrong than I did recently, though. This is actually the proper way to go. This goes really quickly when you don't get encounters, just like a lot of places in the World of Ruin. It can take a lot longer if you're busy fighting everything, but if you carry around a middle charm person with you most of the way, you don't have too many worries. These guys are super wimpy to things like Ultima. In a normal fight, they can be kind of scary. They're similar to the Cindy, Mandy, and Sandy battle in Final Fantasy IV. There are three of them they all have various abilities. They help each other, and if you don't kill the right one, he'll resurrect his buddies. But a couple Ultimas quickly put them in their place. I actually forgot just how many elements the Paladin Shield absorbs when I first designed this and gave Paladin Shields to everybody, and that's what really, you know, as I mentioned before, kind of makes this game super trivial. There are a few items you can pick up in here in this weird place. I'm not going to bother with any of them, because I don't need them. I don't care about them. There might be a Genji glove if I was to try doing it more specifically. That was funky. Oh, I hate this maze. Let me see if I can remember how to do it right. Voila. For some reason that's easier to remember. You have to go into the other cave and then you click another switch and those chests close. Those ones there that are most mentioning what they are. You might think we have to fight the Phantom Train again, but that's not the case. You can do anything you want actually. Click A controls, whatever. As soon as you leave, you head into the next portion, in which you get Magitech armor! And there's a famous glitch that Ascension Boexel did using this Magitech armor in SGDQ 2014. If you do it right, you can actually give Magitech armor to your party. It's kind of amusing. Haha! By doing stuff like this. But I'm not sure of the exact setup, so I probably will lose it and I really don't care, but if I do end up with it, it'd be neat. It might glitch out a little bit, at least at first. So now we return back to Doma Castle, where we're visited by his wife and son, who didn't go on to the Soul Society, or Heaven, or wherever they were headed as spirits. They have come back from that place, I guess, to implore us to help save... Oh, I need to do a special setup before this battle, too, so it's a good thing that we have this long cutscene to remind me. This is another... Just like the Shiva Ifrit battle, this is one of those non-glitches that seems a little broken. Skills... Should've just gone out that door, it doesn't matter. They're both equidistant down there. You must be Rexel. We want Cayenne back. You're too late. His pain has reached critical mass. Nothing can stop his feelings of rage and despair. I hunger for you! I'm gonna possess your body. I'll impair this form gun. You're about to die. Normally this is a very, very annoying battle regardless of what you do. You have to literally kill your characters. And then... Oh, blast. I forgot. Well, this is bad. I might have to reset. Did I save? I can't remember if I saved or not. As I said, you can't use... Yeah. I'm just going to reset here and see how badly this set me back. Because it's very hard to kill. I really need to use this non-glitch to win it because it's very hard to... I did not save. That's bad. When did I last save? In here, since it had been a while. How horribly ruined. That's a huge setback. I knew I needed to remember to save. So I hoisted on my own petard. since I did show anything, I'm going to go ahead and put it up here, and when you start the next time, you'll see me picking up where we left off with Rexel, and we'll get that out of the way. So I'll see you all later.